Okay, here I am again, Eye on Air. You saw a video right in the beginning with the topic I'm talking about today. It's again about an accident. As I told you already during my last session about the Hualalai, that this accident on the mountain where I broke my ankle was not the only one. So the next one is about, may I show you? About cows. And the cow, I know them, you know, I'm born in the Alps. Of course, I was familiar with cows since my childhood. We were walking up the meadows, the slopes, up to the peak where the trees don't grow anymore, and we were familiar with these animals. I had never ever experienced fear when it comes to cows. But then the situation changed, and you saw it already on my title. But yet I still love cows, and I have to love cows because cows are the raw source for my beast milk. So how can I not love cows? So the story I have to tell you is a weird one. It was, I don't even remember exactly whether it was 2012 or 2013. It was in August. We wanted to have a camp with athletes, meet in Davos, because my dear friend Chris McCormick was there for high altitude training, and we wanted to meet there. It was exactly after Ironman Germany and before everybody got ready and nervous already because of the Ironman World Championships on the big island of Hawaii. So we went to the Schatzalp. I don't know whether you are familiar with Schatzalp. Schatzalp is in Davos. Davos, the famous place where the World Economic Forum takes place every year and where the politics of the world is tinkered together. May I say so? I, as a child, have been there several times for skiing with my parents. I know the Strela, I know Parsen, so I'm fairly familiar with the area. So Schatzalp, to come back to this point, is a beautiful, big, old hotel, and it's famous for the novel Thomas Mann wrote, called The Zauberberg, the Magic Mountain. I don't know the translation, the exact translations, but there it was during the beginning of the last century that tuberculosis patients were treated there. There is also a movie about this Schatzalp and about all the patients and the serious situations with tuberculosis. So we thought it's a good idea to meet there and have a get-together and discuss our plans with the athletes, the plans what to do with beast milk, how to proceed. Yeah, this was the idea. And I arrived with my assistant, Patricia. Arne came there, Chris was already there, and it was an afternoon, we arrived, all of us, and I had this plan in the early morning. I just go for a quick jog run up to the Strela. It's a very famous skiing slope. It was around 6 o'clock in the morning, and I took my two girls, Sophie and Fanny, and easy equipment, no telephone, nothing. And thought, before we start our meeting, before I'm stuck sitting the whole day and talking, I go for this run. And it was like this. I opened a gate. At this gate, it said, you have to have the dogs by the leash. And then, I said, I take them by the leash. I had long leashes, because my girls are hunters, so to give them some more space to move. I had long leather leashes, and I kept them like this. And we continued a slow jog, because it's fairly steep then. There were cows, of course. It's normal. It was it's a wide area in the beginning. I don't know whether I can show you this on the map. Here you have the hotel and the area where I was running. I remember this fairly well. Here you see Schatzalp, and here you have this trail. In the beginning, it's not a trail; it's actually a road. And I was here at this area and thought, okay, go. And suddenly, it was like a shock. A cow took me, and with her big head under the bum, and was just lifting me over the fence. I had never experienced something like this. I was really like, oh my God, what is this? I was not realizing what was going on. I only saw that the whole area was full of cows with calves. And this I didn't consider, so this was a big thing. So I thought, okay, breathe, quiet, breathe, relax. And I still had my dogs by the leash, and they were, of course, barking. And I was stupid enough not to let them free, because, of course, the cows were irritated by the barking of the dogs. And I climbed back over the fence and thought I slowly continue. But the other one, still the same one, I think, I don't remember this so exactly because I was already stressed, was just with her nose, or yes, it were all girls because they had calves, just pushing me like this towards the fence. But then I walked slowly, and there was a curve, and I thought, okay, I walk up there, and there I will wait until they calm down, and I will continue then my run. Yeah, this was the idea. I will show you. I remember really exactly. It was exactly here. I don't know whether you can see this. I will make it a little bit bigger. Zoom in a little bit. So here you see my mouse. And in this, it was exactly here. This needle turn, and there was a bench, and there were 2 or 3 trees, I don't remember exactly, and I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I will wait there. But it came completely different. I was standing there, and suddenly I saw 2 cows. They were in charge of the whole flock, herd, and it was like the wink of an eye, the blink like this, a message sent, and suddenly all of them, I think around 40, I cannot say any, I'm not really sure, but a lot, came closer and closer. And they came to me and started to push me again. I had Fanny, my little one, like this in my arms, and Sophie between my legs. And they were still pushing. I didn't know what to do. I already had this view in my head, they will all just stumble over me, I will fall, and I will be dead, because my ribcage, my chest, my ribcage won't survive this. I let the dogs go, because I was not able to control the situation anymore, and in me, it was already now, this is the end of my life. I saw the blood in the green grass. It was, this picture is still in me, it was so strong. And I let the dogs go, and then one sign by the 2 cows, and they pushed me, and I fell over. Thank God it was like an area where it was slightly inclined, it was not completely flat. And then they started running over me. And I had this 1 second of a moment where I said, no, it's not yet my time. And I focused in a way, all the power in me obviously was mobilized, and they ran over me. And then, I cannot remember exactly, but this was it. I was lying in this mud, and my dogs were gone, and I was trying to focus and see what happened. The first thing I did, I was trying to find out whether I can still breathe, whether my ribs are okay, and whether I am bleeding or whatsoever. And I was sitting like this, and there was nothing. I could breathe. This was the only thing I was focusing on, and I knew as a physician, you know what happens if your lung gets stabbed by a rib. So this is a serious case, and it was early morning, nobody around, so this would have been the end of my life. I got up, and Sophie ran towards me, and I was so happy to have her. Fanny was gone. So what should I do? I stood up, and there was the fence, not so far, and I climbed over the fence, and it was a steep slope with wet grass, not really dangerous. You could easily fall down, and it's so slippery. But there have been pine trees, and there were 2 pine trees, and I took those 2 were my goal, and I was sitting down in between those 2 trees and checked my body again. Thank God I didn't have a phone in my pocket here, so otherwise it would have been the end. And I was trying to find out my joints, my knees. I didn't realize what was it. It was only afterwards I saw what happened. My trousers, my pants, my jacket. It was torn in pieces. But this I was not focused on. It was only about my breathing. And I took Sophie, and took some time to recover, to focus. And then I stood up and thought, yeah, now you have to find back to the hotel, but not at all. I wanted to meet with any cow anymore. And slowly, I made my way. And I always like my voice was very low. I said, Fanny. She was gone, of course. I had no clue where I was. I only had a basic idea where the directions of the hotel are, and so I had some bearings because I'm a mountain girl. I'm quite familiar with how to orient myself in these areas. So slowly. I don't know how long it took me, but I think it was at least 2 hours, and I arrived back in the hotel. And the first thing that happened, the first enlightening moment was that Fanny came running towards me, and I started crying. I was so exhausted from this being focused and making my way through that I just couldn't control my tears anymore. And I was so happy to have her. Of course, then it started, the situation was like this. In the hotel, they said, yeah, you should have known, you don't have the dogs by the leash, should have done differently. But why do they have these what do you call these? Where it says it's forbidden to do this typically Swiss, you are forbidden 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So behaving according to the rules was completely wrong. And you know, there have been a lot of accidents recently in the Alps due to tourists that were overrun by cows. And back then I was not aware of the fact that we had in our days milk cows and young calves without their mothers already in the Alps for getting good fresh grass, and these were all animals with calves who meant to be meat cows. And this is a completely different situation. Those cows, they just defended their offspring. So it had nothing to do with what I want to show you now, with these kind of situations where we have, a second please, because I'm without assistant today again. It was not like this. You know, we have been so used to, or like this, for example. Where is this one? Wait a second. These were the cows I was familiar with. Harmless, beautiful with their big eyes, soft, and not at all dangerous. I have another one I wanted to show you with Maike when we have been in St. Moritz together, like this. This is was my memories of cows, and not a dangerous animal at all. But you know, they are strong, and if they step on you, this has serious consequences. So I was back in the hotel, and my friends came, all of them, we have to go to the hospital and blah, blah, blah. What did I say? What shall I do in the hospital? I mean, they will take an X-ray, then they will not let me go because out of precautions, not to take any risk in case something happens. So I said, no, I stay. I had kind of a bed on the balcony there, and I was lying there covered by blankets because I was so cold because of this exhaustion. I was checking the rest of my body, bruises everywhere. I had bruises here, my elbow, my knee big like this, my ankle, everything was, I was completely, I don't know, I was really injured. And my chest was in pain, I can tell you. But as usual, I pulled myself together. And so now we are all here. We just continue the program. And dear friend Thomas was so kind. He was going down with the cable car, bringing me a kind of a support for my chest, that I get more stable and that the pain gets reduced by this, what do you call these things? You know what I mean? Put it around, tighten it around your chest, and that was it. In the evening, I was strong enough to go for dinner, and the others didn't realize the pain I had. It was unbelievable. I was really suffering. Each breath was like it tore apart my ribs and my chest. This is what I remember. Until then, I have high respect of all kind of animals with kids and offspring. I don't blame these cows at all. I still love cows because they are wonderful, sensitive animals. And we have to respect the other in a way. If they are getting scared that you do something to their children, that they will defend their offspring. So I was traveling back home, and Patricia was driving the car, thank God, because I was not able to do that. I was too exhausted. My whole body was felt like empty. The only thing that next I remember was I came home to my parents' house, and what happened, Fanny escaped over the street, and I was scared because of the traffic. And thank God Patricia was with me. She was running after her. I was unable to run at all. And it took me more than 1 year. After 1 or 1.5 years, I still felt the pain in my chest, like that was torn apart, and each breath was painful. My joints, the bruises disappeared, my joints recovered, And but it was one of those moments where I had 1 millisecond of my life. I told myself, no, I don't want to die yet. It's too early. And I made it. So this was my accident with cows. And what I want to add at the end, the beast milk, which is with me, the cows who are with me every day, I get a lot approached that we might take this colostrum or beast milk away from the calf. We don't do that. No calf, no animal like this can survive without this. And we should have this in mind. It applies to us as well. We should respect other species, and I am not the person, never ever, I would take this away from the cow for our sake. We should consider our way of treating these animals and blaming them for whatsoever, climate change and so on. I think they are not the ones that should be blamed. This is not a funny story, it still touches me a lot, but I'm a lucky girl as well. It was not yet my time, so I survived. I want to give you, at the end, another short video that shows my beloved cows. Okay, at the end of this relatively short talk, I wanted to say, you see, I have this one, an electrocardiogram for today, because my heart is still beating and I'm grateful for that. And at the end of the day, I didn't forget my settle. I hope you join our community. It's important to talk nowadays about immunity, and beast milk is immunity in a very concentrated form, and it's harmless and powerful, and I'm always sad to have made the experience that people laugh at me when I say that. But never mind, I continue because my passion and my love for Beastmilch stands. My settle, it is, again, please join the community. Give us a like, a dislike, an argument, doubts, whatsoever, your standpoint. We are on YouTube, on Vimeo, we are on Swamps of Life. We have all our sessions from my Eye on Air. And join. If you want to become a guest, drop us a line on beastmilch@beastmilch.com. Let's stick together in these difficult times. And don't forget the booster and the chewables. They helped me to be so strong. And I don't want to miss them at all. Okay, thanks for listening. I see you again very soon. And another story, it's just my life, nothing else. Okay, ciao, see you soon. Bye-bye, bye, bye.